Well, that was the perfect game hunt.
Retro Ghetto.
Hi everybody, welcome to this week's Ghetto vlog. And guys, a video game room is a sanctuary. It's a place of escape. It's a happy place. It hasn't been this week. It's an absolute mess. And that's where we need to kick off this week's vlog, right? Due to getting the PS2 TV into position last week, even though I'm starting to doubt myself, that might end up moving on this vlog. There's just stuff everywhere in this room, right? It's just been a nightmare. I've spent a week sort of like filming around stuff, jumping over stuff. There's just piles of games and things everywhere. There's also some parcels that we need to open down there, so we're going to get to that later on. But yeah, I had a bit of a tidy up so that my seating area was clear, because I finally had my friend Big Steph round last night. We had a long overdue movie night. We watched Embark. Absolutely love that movie. It was great to watch that again. Shout out to Big Steph as well. It was great to see you, my friend. But today, we've got to get cracking, man. I need to get this room looking, you know, better than ever. So there's a lot of work to do. I'm thinking I might go out on a hunt as well, because there's a few big items in here which I think probably need to go. I've probably had my fun with them. And maybe it's time to trade them in. And from my experience, one of the best places to trade in things is Kirkby Sales and Exchange. So I might fly there later on and have a bit of a game hunt and trade a few bits in, which will ultimately help me get this room looking better, as well as, of course, adding, inevitably, some new games to the collection while I'm there. So, yeah, loads to be cracking on with on this vlog. Let's get to it. So, as I sit here and drink my second cup of Yorkshire before 7 o'clock in the morning in some sort of attempt to wake up from the late night that was spent playing Pro Evo and watching martial arts films, I figured if we're going to get this room tidy, we need to get it cleared. So I might as well open this big box here to clear some space. Right, so yeah, let's get straight into it, shall we? So I think I know what this is and who this is from, so let's take a look. Before we get into this, I should probably say I've had a couple of charity shop finds off camera this week. Actually, I might have got a couple of them on camera. One was, there was a Wii bundle in a charity shop, and it had like 4 Wii remotes in it. And I just said to the woman, can I buy a Wii remote? And she said, yeah, like, you know, as long as there's like 1 in there with a bundle. I said, yeah, there's like 4. So she charged me £3. These are still selling for £22 at CEX. I was shocked. 22 quid for a Wii remote. That's bad, right? A lot of these as well, always check them, because a lot of them have like battery corrosion in them. The amount I find that I just have to put back. But this one's absolutely perfect. And I think there's like £8 trading on here, so that's like a quick £5 profit. I might keep it, because I'm not sure if I've got 2 working ones, and it's nice to have 2, obviously, to play with Little Man. Aside from that, I also found a copy of, I think it was Black Ops 3 and Sonic, one of the Sonic games. You'll probably be seeing it on screen now. But I traded both of those in as part of Wednesday's video, which was me going out hunting at CEX. So I used those as trade credit for that video. So they basically paid for my completion of the Pro Evo set. If you haven't watched that video, check it out. We'll discuss that in a little bit more detail later on in terms of like the giveaway with the PS3 Essentials. There's a lot of things I need to discuss, because we're also going to be discussing the Neo Geo Pocket that I found at Leeds Retro Gaming Market. We'll get to all that stuff later on as well. Right, okay, so let's see what's in the box. Yep, so this is what I thought it was. I don't think there's a note. Right, okay, so this has come from my friend Ross over at Bar Ha Ha. I've shouted at his channel many times before. I'm a big fan of his channel. I watch all his videos. Amazing pickups, but not also that. He also does like things where he'll do 30 games in 30 days, which he plays on Twitch, and then he'll sort of like do a mini review of them all on his YouTube channel. And yeah, if you've not already checked it out, go and check out Ross's channel. But he reached out to me, and he knows that I'm currently collecting Xbox 360 and in particular collector's editions, and he said this is one of his favourite games on the system, and he was just basically looking to move it on because he's got a vast collection, and I think he sort of ran out of space. But that game that he sent to me is the collector's edition of Enslaved, or Enslaved Odyssey to the West, to give it its full title. It's an action-adventure game developed by Ninja Theory in 2010. It's set 150 years in the future in a post-apocalyptic world following a global war. I believe you play as a chap called Monkey in an attempt to survive. You play this in a third-person perspective, and it just seems like a really interesting game, this one. It was originally penned to be a CGI movie. Andy Serkis actually did a lot of the sort of like motion for this as well. So yeah, there's quite a few interesting subplots to this game, and it's just one that had never been on my radar. Ross knows his games, and he said it's one of his favourites on the system, so that's really bumped it up there for me, right? So let's take a look at what we get inside this collector's edition. It's coming like a really nice box. I like this sort of matte finish that you get on these boxes. So in here we've got the original soundtrack, the game itself, of course. He did tell me that there was like a crack on the disc or something, but he said it works, so that's fine for me. And interestingly, a novel. If I could read, I'd enjoy it. So yeah, massive shout out to Ross for that. And he also said he was throwing in a freebie. Thankfully, Ross did let me send him postage, at least, for his generosity and sending me these nice pieces. So he reached out to me and said, have you got this? And I said, no, he said he'd sent me this. And I said to him, oh, that's mad, because I've literally just received a copy of this. It was on last week's vlog, so that's a Soul Calibur 5 Collector's Edition. I don't think this has the game. I think he said he found it in a charity shop for like £1. He never put the game with it, and again, he doesn't have the room, so he just threw this in. So yeah, what I'll try and do is probably find another game for this. I can pop it in and then maybe trade it in down the line. He said to me if you can complete it, trade it in. So yeah, massive shout out to Ross for that. It's much appreciated. And Enslaved's definitely one that I'm intrigued by now I've sort of looked into it. Let me know in the comments if you've played Enslaved Odyssey to the West. But yeah, once again, massive shout out to Ross. Make sure you go and check out his channel. That has enabled me to clear a little bit of the room at least. I'm going to finish this tea and decide whether we make a start on the mess that is this room, or we go and do some game hunting. It's probably going to be game hunting. So as you can see, somewhat unsurprisingly, game hunting won. So yeah, I'm here now and heading to Kirkby Sales and Exchange. I have got the duffel bag full of bits. So yeah man, let's see what they give me for this stuff, and let's see what I inevitably bring back. Just one of the reasons I love this shop. Brew number 3 of the day. Whilst game hunting.
Now, I know I say this every time, but I love collecting sales and exchange, man. I mean, firstly, any way you can have a cup of tea and hunt video games is fine by me, but I always get great prices for what I trade in, great prices on what I buy, and there's not many places that you can get both of those things, right? And yeah, I just always come out having really enjoyed the experience as well as what I picked up. I picked up a couple of very heavy hitters, one of which I've been after for a long time, one of which wasn't on my radar until I saw it, but we'll discuss all that when we get back to 3.0. You probably just saw the footage on the way out. I went to the charity shop and there was actually a few bits in there. A couple of these are quite badly scratched, but the old lady in there was so nice. I was chatting to her. I didn't have the heart to tell her once I got to the till that I didn't want them. They might go for a resurfacer, but it was so cheap. All of these cost me £2, so I mean less than 50 pence each. So we're going to go through these. First for your PS2 games, so we've got Need for Speed Underground, Grand Theft Auto 3, Tony Hawk's American Wasteland, and Grand Theft Auto Vice City. PS2 prices are starting to go up. I mean, with CEX, most things are going up currently. But previously, most of these games wouldn't be worth picking up, but now there's like £2–3 trading on them. So if you can get them at a charity shop where things are 50p or so, they're worth picking up. Like I say, slowly the PS2 prices are increasing. And I also picked up a DVD. So I got this twin set of The Raid and The Raid 2. I'm on a bit of a martial arts kick right now. I have to watch it on back last night. I still got Chocolate, which was kindly sent in by a viewer, which was highly recommended to me, so I need to watch that as well. But I've not seen Raid 2. I've watched the first Raid, not the second one. And it's got a sleeve cover as well. Not that I'm collecting DVDs, right? That's a slope I do not need to slip down. So from here, I'd be remiss not to go to the nearest CX, right? That is Sutton in Ashfield. It's about a 10-minute drive from here, so it's worth checking. I want to hunt for some PS3 essentials, so I'm going to fly there. But not before I eat my 10-piece chicken breast bites and peri-peri mayo dip from Morrison's. I'm going to sit there, eat this, drink my protein shake from the B&M or Home Bargains, B&M, which is behind me. And yeah, then we're going to fly to CEX and do a little bit more game hunting. Like I've stumbled into a bit of a PS3 Essentials gold mine. Where was this place last week? That worked out really well. Grabbed a couple of Essentials and now I'm leaving. I've just seen this in the window. They were done patching. It's the last cave shooter I need for the 360 ones. I'll come back when I've got some stuff to trade in. I have to draw the line somewhere, right? I've got kids to feed. Well, that was the perfect game hunt. In many ways, right? You'll see more when we get back, but I've got retro, I've got heavy hitters, I've got rare PS3 Essentials. I've not been out of the house long, in and out, everywhere I went. Didn't spend much money. Can't ask for much more than that. Let's get back to the 3.0 and take a look. Okay, and we are back in the 3.0. I've just had my 4th cup of tea of the day for anyone that's catting along at home. And do you know what? I almost didn't go on today's game hunt because obviously I was flying around all those different CX stores earlier in the week for Wednesday's video. I've got so much to do in here that I just thought, you know what? I might not go on a hunt. But, you know, those old habits die hard. I woke up and thought, you know what? I want to go on a game hunt. And I'm so glad I did, right? Because yeah, I think I was just saying it's like the perfect hunt in many ways. I was back by sort of lunchtime. I visited 3 places, one of which was a charity shop, all of which were very kind to me. Got some great stuff, barely spent any money. I got some fried chicken. I mean, what more could you want, right? So yeah, just a great way to kick off the day and kick off the vlog. I don't know what's quite on camera there. I'm going to try and keep some of it back, but we shall start with the CEX purchases, right? So we went to that CEX in Sutton, and I've got to say, Sutton in Ashfield, it's worth saying, not Sutton. Don't get me started on the Sutton branch. Sutton in Ashfield. Worlds apart from Sutton Coldfield, that's for sure. Fantastic stock, really good stuff. Loads of PS3 essentials. Not only that, but there was like some nice collector's editions. On a different day, I could have spent a couple of £100 in there easily, I think. There was loads of different things I could have bought. A few Xbox 360 collector's editions. There was a Tomb Raider one. There was the God of War, the Gears of War one, sorry. There was the Enslaved one, which is probably a bit too big. I'm trying to calm it down a little bit with the collector's editions because I'm going to run out of space fast. And there's a lot of more Xbox 360 editions I want before I run out of space. So I didn't pick any of those up. And I did pick up a couple of PS3 essentials, one of which is one of the most expensive ones I still need for the set. So we'll get to that shortly. So the first one I found is Far Cry 4. So I'm pretty sure I don't already own this. No, this is completed my subset of Far Cry PS3 essentials. I already own 2, 3, and now 4. So this was the 2014 release. This was actually well received when it came out. Steam gave it a 9 out of 10, IGN 8.5, GameZone gave it a 9.5 out of 10. I have played this to the point where I've played through the opening scenes, I've played through the sort of like the prologue, and I'm just out into the open world, and I got distracted by something else. I think for me, I probably played this a little bit too close to Far Cry 3, which I always say is my favourite. I loved Far Cry 3. So it was always going to be difficult for this to hit those heights. But having said that, I've not put enough time into it to even do a genuine comparison. But I will play through all the Far Cry games. The ones I have played through, I've really enjoyed. And the fact I've played through 3 and 5, I mean, it seems odd that I haven't played through 4, right? So, but yeah, nice little subset completion. And just, again, not one you see very often. Now, I keep saying not an essential you see very often. And I guess before I started collecting them, I wouldn't have even noticed them. And if I'd already seen them, I would have bought them. So I guess it goes without saying, but you know what I mean. I've never really noticed it. And this one I've definitely never seen. So this is, as I say, is one of the heavier hitters that I still need. More expensive games, £18 game. And yeah, really happy to have seen this. As soon as I saw it on the shelves, I knew I was going to have to buy it. And that is The Amazing Spider-Man. So this is the 2012 release, developed by Beanox. It's the epilogue to the movie of the same name, and I think The Amazing Spider-Man is the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies. I might be wrong, but I kind of missed those ones out. I remember watching some of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, and then I saw the Tom Holland ones. I felt like they just kept putting out too many Spider-Mans too quick, right? I felt like they needed to just let it fallow for a while. But yeah, I think these games are somewhat of a victim of how good the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man release was, right? Because you don't really hear people talking about these, and I think they just got so overshadowed by how good, as I say, the later releases were. But yeah, they all hold the value. All Spider-Man games seem to hold their value. This, strangely, is more expensive than the second one. So there's an Amazing Spider-Man 2 on the PS3. I think that might also have an Essentials release, I'm not sure, but that's only a £15 game. So yeah, this is one of the heavier hitters that I needed. So as soon as I saw this, I knew it was a good trip to CX. Really happy to add it. And let me know if you've played this one. Let me know how it stacks up to the PS4 release, or is it just like kind of a precursor to that? You know, sometimes you get those games, don't you, where it almost feels like we're halfway towards hitting the high notes that the PS4 game hit. But yeah, man, just really happy with both of those. And where were these last week, right, when I was hunting for PS3 Essentials? And I just want to touch quickly upon last week's video. Obviously, I'm doing the giveaway. There's so many people who entered that giveaway, right? I'm going to let it run until next week's vlog. So if you haven't watched Wednesday's video for whatever reason, there'll be a link below. Go into that video, you'll see how you can win those games. And I'll announce the winner on next week's vlog, as I say. But a lot of people have been saying to me, like, you've ruined it for yourself. You shouldn't have advertised the fact that you're doing PS3 Essentials because, you know, there's a lot of people now collecting them. Seemingly nobody wanted them not long ago. They were sort of like people's last choice, right? People wanted the standard black label. And now they're getting harder and harder to find. There's more and more people collecting them. And to that, I kind of say, you know what? It is what it is. I love sort of sharing my hobbies, my passions, my collecting with the audience. And if it's something that you guys end up being passionate about as well and you pursue it, then that's great. I'm not really one of them sort of selfish collectors that's like, oh, I want them all for myself. Like, for me, games are games. There's loads of games. There's games everywhere. I'm sitting in a room full of them. I don't sort of hold any animosity towards not being able to get them, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not in a rush. I'll find them as and when I find them. Trying to enjoy the journey, and if other people are collecting them, great. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the journey as well. That's kind of how I see it. So yeah, so that was the CEX. But before that, I went to the fantastic Kirkby Sales and Exchange. Now, I've kind of run out of superlatives to use to describe that place. It's just always a great time. Shout out to the owner, Nina. And I'm just going to get into what I picked up. It goes without saying, if you're ever in the area, make sure you go and check those guys out. So my first purchase, bit of an impulse purchase, but also, is it an impulse purchase actually? That might have been the wrong choice of words, because it's definitely something I saw there and it kind of jogged my memory when I thought, oh yeah, I've been thinking about buying something like that. And that is the SF30 Pro Bluetooth gamepad. So it's the 8-bit DO gamepad. So basically what this is like a modern day Super Nintendo controller. So it's got the 2 buttons on the top, or the 4 buttons on the top, should I say. Also, of course, with the analog stick. So this can be plugged straight in. You can use this on like Android, iPhone, Macs, Nintendo Switch, Steam, all that kind of stuff. I will, of course, use this on the Switch, but what I'm going to have to do, I think, is get one of the receivers, because I want to be able to use this on the Super Nintendo itself, rather than messing about, putting a wire from the system over my SNES table to my sofa, pulling my SNES console out a few inches just so it's got long enough to do it. I'd rather just bypass all that and just get like the receiver so I don't have to mess about with wires. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to order a receiver for this now so that I can use it on my OG Super Nintendo. So yeah, really happy with that. And Nina had this at £25, as you can see. It probably ended up being more like 20 because she did me such a great deal. I traded stuff in. The things that I bought were over that. And she just said to me, don't worry about it, just do a straight swap. So that was probably closer to £20. I had a quick look on eBay whilst I was looking for the receivers, and they're selling for more than that. So yeah, I did really well with that, and really happy to be able to use one of these now going forwards. I'll let you know how I get on with it as and when. Speaking of as and when, I might play it tonight on Prince of Persia. I'm still playing Prince of Persia, guys. I'll be honest, the last few weeks I've been a YouTuber more than I've been a gamer. I've been so sort of like engrossed in content creation and also in this room that gaming has took a back seat for the last couple of weeks. I've still been trying to get through Prince of Persia in the evenings or when I go to bed on my Switch itself, but I got stuck on a boss and I'm kind of in that, you know, like I keep trying to beat this boss, but it's not happening at the moment. But I'm getting closer, I will beat it. It's not one of them bosses that looks impossible, it's just one of them ones that's difficult. So hopefully we'll beat that. I'm about 30% in, so it's a slow progress with that one, but I am enjoying it. And then also I picked up, I had to pick this up, right? It was only £3, and that is Watch Dogs 2 on the PlayStation 4. So I've never been a huge fan of the Watch Dogs series without playing it. It's one of them, it's a weird thing, right? I might play it and absolutely love it, but it never grabbed me. That kind of old hacking thing, I don't know, it never appealed to me. But you know me, guys, £3, big box, sleeve cover. I wasn't going to leave it behind, so yeah, that had to come home with me. And that takes me to the next purchase. Now, I made 2 purchases that were heavy hitters, big games. One of which is going to be on Wednesday's video. So I said last week that I bought a game from CEX that was going to be in a future video. That's also going to be on Wednesday's video. So do not miss Wednesday's video. It's not a games to invest in video.
but at the same time it kind of is. But that'll all make more sense on Wednesday. Just don't miss it. So yeah, we'll get to that next week. But the heavy hitter that I purchased that I'm showing now is a PlayStation game. The most expensive PlayStation game I've ever bought. It's funny that since I sold my PlayStation collection, I've spent more money on my PlayStation collection than I ever have done before. I've got like this real passion. Now I've got this all killer no filler shelf. I don't know, I seem to have like ignited my PlayStation collecting passion. And when I saw this, and guys, this is in mint condition, right? You have to be careful with PlayStation 1. The boxes break so easy. But I picked up the Super Pang collection. Like I say, this is just in fantastic condition. If you bought this from CEX as mint, I don't think you would complain. Yeah, really, really nice throughout. And basically, the Super Pang collection, what's known as Buster Brothers in America, it's Capcom developed game, and it's basically a compilation of the 3 games. So you got 1989's Pang, 1990 Super Pang, which I picked up not too long ago on the Super Nintendo. And then there's also, I think it's called Pang Bros, like a 1995 release. Don't know too much about that one. I think there's slight cosmetic differences and minor gameplay tweaks, but yeah, this has become quite a hard game to attain. £70 is a good price, especially in this condition. CX have it at £55, but it's never in stock. It's one of them games that they've got underpriced. Cynics might say they have games like that underpriced because when people trade them in, they pay less for them. I don't know. I can't attest to that being true or not, but sometimes it does make you wonder, right? When you see games that are never in stock, very lowly priced. But yeah, if you go on eBay, this would be a fantastic price. Really happy to have this, and just such a fun game, right? I played Super Pang quite a bit, and yeah, just one of them games that's sort of like a puzzle game, but it's got a little bit more action to it than your standard puzzler. Really fun, really good time. I'm looking forward to playing the other 2 games, which I've never played before. And yeah, now I've got the PS2 TV, and there's not a better way to experience this. So yeah, absolutely delighted with that. Love my pickups. We'll get to the next one on Wednesday. Had those charity shop finds, the PS3 essentials, and all in all, a great trip. Couldn't be happier. But now it's time to turn my attention finally to getting this room back, because I've lived in this mess for too long now. So let's do it.
Retro Ghetto.
Good morning all. So, can you remember at the start of the vlog when I said this? A video game room is a sanctuary. It's a place of escape. It's a happy place. It hasn't been this week. It's an absolute mess. And that's where we need to kick off this week's vlog, right? Yeah, still not happened. Last night I ended up playing a couple of games actually. So I played 2 games which came from recommendations from you guys in the comments. I played Limbo. Enjoyed it. It's sort of like an action platformer, but with sort of heavy puzzle elements. Good fun. Quite a macabre game, quite eerie. It's one of them games that you will die, and you kind of like, it's designed where you'll die and then you have to learn why you died, sort of thing. You'd never just be able to run through it. So it's quite methodical in that way, but it's a good fun game. And I also played Sonic, I always get this title wrong, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. Good fun kart racer, nice to get some use out of a PS3 essential. And again, both games came recommended by you guys, and they're both good fun, so yeah. But what it does mean is that I didn't get anything done in the room once again. So today, we've really got to crack on. We need to hammer it straight away. The reason that I've sort of been procrastinating is I'm not entirely happy with the PS2 TV. Last week, I was kind of in a rush against time. I was happy to just get it in. Whereas now, I feel like it's not perfect. So, I had an idea. Well, I didn't have an idea. It was initially Mrs. RG, but it was also echoed by a couple of you guys in the comments section once again, to put like a shelf on runners. So to put it back here where I initially wanted it, and be able to pull the shelf out and have the TV there. So when I'm sat in my chair, the TV can be at an angle, I can pull it out and I can play it from my natural seating position, which would be much better than having it there and then having to lie with my head there, etc, etc. This is some more parcels that have arrived, but they're for Wednesday's video once again, so ignore them. But yes, it's not quite that straightforward. IKEA don't do shelves or runners sort of things for billies. So I'm looking at sort of like a third party, but because there's not much depth to the shelf and the weight of the TV and then how much I want it to come out, there's quite a lot of permeables that I need to get right. So I haven't ordered them just yet, but I do think it's what I'm going to definitely do. So in terms of getting this room sorted out, I think what I need to do is put the PS2 TV where it's going to be without the runners, and then sort of put everything back around it. And then when we get it figured out with the runners on next week's vlog, everything will be in situ in and around the TV, if that makes sense, because I can't continue to live in this mess much longer. So that's the loose plan. Let's crack on with it. Okay, so finally got moving and doing stuff, and I'm questioning myself because I moved PS2 over so that the shelf would be at the right height for the PS2 TV, right? Sort of where it was on the adjacent shelf. However, when I had PS1 here, I had this small overflow section here that would have been perfect for PS1 to just flow straight into. Now I've bought the Super Pan collection. I'm actually one game over what I can fit on a shelf, so over time I'm inevitably going to add a few more heavy hitting PS1 games, which would have been perfect to just slot into that cubby hole there. I guess the height isn't quite as important if it's going there either, because yeah, it being like an inch or so lower is not going to make any difference once I'm sat here and I've got the screen in front of me. So after all the procrastinating and finally getting doing stuff, I'm probably going to put it back. Beautiful. There we go. If only it was that quick for me. So yeah, you can see now what I'm talking about in terms of having the overflow. So now the Super Pan collection's been added. Lonely Wu-Tang Taste the Pain on the end there. And yeah, nice little bit of room to just naturally grow across for the PS1 collection. So ultimately I'm going to leave this area pretty much blank now. So this is going to be reserved for future PS2 TV modifications. And that means I can now concentrate on getting everything else sorted. Yeah, so as I sit in my seat now, I can sort of get a feel for how good it's going to look. It's going to be perfect. Once that can pull out, it can be angled. It's just going to sit out, and again, once it's sort of there, I'll have that sort of command center feel that I was talking about, right, with all my screens available to me. Okay, so I've been chipping away at it, and to be honest, I feel like I've barely scratched the surface. There's still just piles and piles of stuff everywhere in this room. But I think one of the big decisions now is Nintendo Switch. So now that we've sorted out PlayStation PS2 area, I think the natural place to put all these Switch games
and there's even more out of shot there. I think the natural place to put these now would be after Wii U, so here. So this can be switch, like 2 rows of switch there. And then I'd like to still maintain the Mario All-Stars shrine, so that would be a good place to sort of sit below GameCube, and it sort of keeps Nintendo all sort of within touching distance of each other, which is kind of what I want. So let's crack on. Honestly, arranging Billy bookcase shelves is the bane of my life. First world problems. Okay, so as you can see, Switch games are in, finally. It was all about conserving every centimetre of space on the shelving, so unfortunately I couldn't raise the top one up as high as I'd like because of those special editions, but it's nice to have a bit of a gap for, you know, bigger box things that come down the line. Second shelf was allowed to go a lot more tighter, which means I've saved at least 1 notch here, and what that means is I should be able to get my Lego army in here. So above PS2 we're going to do the Lego army now, and I wanted to make sure I leave enough space because ultimately over time I'm going to do a second layer of the Lego army. I might even build that today if I've got the chance. So we're going to build the Lego army into here now, and that should fill that unit absolutely perfectly. And speaking of the Lego army, I have a gift here that's been sent in kindly. There is a note, so let's get into this. Okay, so Retro Ghetto, my man, only something small for your collection, but take this as a small token of appreciation for all the hours of work you put into making content. All the best from the Emerald Isle, Brian at Be Kind Rewind Retro. So I'll put links to Brian's social medias there. I think it's Instagram. He sent me a nice sticker, a really cool sticker as well. Be Kind Rewind Retro. And there it is as well with the tricolor on top. So yeah, much appreciated, my friend. Thank you very much. And he has sent me a Minotaur, which is great because I already have one. And like I keep saying, I'm doing it in a symmetrical way. So I now have 2 Minotaurs. So yeah, massive shout out to you, my friend. Much appreciated. Be Kind Rewind Retro. Let's get the Lego army built and put into the shelf, shall we? As you can see, the Lego army lost its last battle with the movements in the room. So yeah, this whole thing's gonna have to be rebuilt. I've got to say, that was 20-25 minutes of very enjoyable time. I sat here with my cup of tea, a biscuit, building my Lego army, watching the Rugrats. If you're wondering why I put Hey Arnold on and Rugrats came on, the Hey Arnold collection that I've got is not the right region for the TV, so I ended up putting the Rugrats on. Both are 10 out of 10 top tier shows either way. But as you can see, I was hard at work making the Lego army. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. So I built the second tier, which is currently arming, or housing should I say, the enemies.
So I just put like a second row of trunking on top of that, a second row of the Lego tape. And yeah, I could not be happier with how it's turned out. Really, really happy with that. So that's going to fit in above PS2 there. So yeah, let's get into place. This is Sparta! Absolutely loving this. Perfect height as well, perfect gap. Yeah, this shelving unit is just chef's kiss. You want to watch Rugrats with Daddy? Are you my little Tommy Pickles? Are you? Oh, you got my hairline, mate. You eat your fingers then. One more episode won't hurt. Okay, so back to work, and if I'm smiling, I'm just delighted with how everything's coming together. Like, you know, if you're going to make wholesale changes, when you do it and it looks better than ever, then that's what it's all worth it, right? So what I've been doing is, I don't want to show you everything. We'll do like a big unveil of how good the whole room's looking at the end, but I have managed to put the Mario All-Stars shrine back in. The Capcom home arcade has gone perfectly underneath that, and the plan is pretty much to like fill every inch of the shelving units, right? I'm not even thinking about tomorrow. I'm not worrying about buying more games. I'm just thinking about making the shelves look perfect for right now. I'm a little bit disappointed with the way I ended last week's vlog. Last week's vlog was really long and I just ran out of time. But I hate ending vlogs, and for me that feels like ending the week without the room being better than ever. And that's kind of how it felt last week, so not this week. We're going to get this done. I don't care if I'm working all day, all night. We're going to get it done. Right now I've got the help of my boy I Made This. There's been like a big thing called Big Bot Bash. Theo's involved, Bill making stuff. They're all sort of like come together, a lot of different crafting YouTubers making like these robots. It's fantastic. I'll try and link the individual channels or the playlist below. But yeah, definitely jump on that and make sure you check out I Made This as well. Very talented guy. But yeah, he's helping me get through while I'm just cracking on, because obviously there's a lot of thinking involved. It's not just a case of throwing things on shelves. You have to kind of be 2 or 3 steps ahead. But now the Mario shelf's done, it's time to address the Xbox situation. As always, there's new Xbox 360 editions to add to the shelves, but there's also all of that Xbox One stuff which needs to find a new home as well. So still loads to be cracking on with. Okay, it is Xbox 360 time. So got a nice selection of titles that need adding. I think what we're going to have to do is take our Xbox One Collector's Editions, and then they're all going to have to be rehoused together, because we've got to get these in. Yeah, let's crack on with it. So, I was going to put these where the Xbox One collections were, but I feel like the 2 leather-bound books need to be together, right? So we could theoretically move Halo Reach, and then... yeah, that looks cool. That looks cool. Get that library feel. Add a bit of class to this room, right? Pretend I can read. I think there's another one of these. Let me know in the comments if there's another sort of leather-bound back book the same as these. And I don't mean like the book that you get with the Alan Wake one. I'm sure there's another one that's very similar to this. It was more rarer, more expensive. I just can't remember what it is. So again, if you know, let me know in the comments, please. And then Enslaved. Shout out once again to Ross. That can go in there. So yeah, the full Pro Evo set we've already done. Looking fantastic. So it's just a case of popping in the last 2 games. Once, Xbox 360 has been very easy to rearrange. So Arkham Origins has gone in there. And that was easy to do because all I had to do was take out X-Blades. That's right, everyone in the comment section that lets me know every episode. It's X-Blades, not Blades. It shouldn't be in B, it should be with X. You can all chill out. It's been moved. So all that's left now is Spec Ops. So we'll get this cleaned up, get it added to the collection. Really looking forward to playing this one, actually. Yeah, this is high on the backlog. And voila! 360 area done. A couple of bits of room to grow. Perfect. Right. Should really start thinking about where these are going. Okay, so I have had another parcel arrive, and I've decided to open it straight away. Partly because I'm intrigued as to what's inside it, and partly to buy myself some more time because I do not know where these Xbox One games are going. So, let's get into it, shall we? I think this might be a gift because I think everything I've ordered, I've pretty much got now. It's either been opened or it's sat patiently waiting for Wednesday. Right, okay, so we've got a note. Let's get into the note. Hi Callum, absolutely love the channel, much appreciated. Sunday mornings with a brew and the Ghetto vlog has been a game changer since you started them. Thank you very much. We are now, how long have I been doing it now? Started there last year, so 12, 14 months. Not missed a Sunday. We also did a week's vlog last year, right? Let me know if you'd like to see another weekly vlog, like a full week. I don't know if I could do it again. If I had hair, I'd have lost it doing that. Here are 2 steelbooks for your collection. I know you're a hip-hop head too, so I've sent you a couple of classics. All the best, Sam. Well, shout out to Sam, he knows me well. Steelbooks and hip-hop sounds like my kind of stuff. Okay, so it looks like everything is individually packaged. That, I'm guessing, is the steelbooks. These, I'm guessing, are the hip-hop. Feels like CDs. So let's start with the CDs, shall we? Classics. Classics, apparently. My hip-hop CD collection is growing. It's been stunted as of late. I don't know if it's... Maybe I'm not hunting as vehemently in charity shops for them, or I'm just not finding hip-hop in charity shops. Sometimes CDs are hard to find in charity shops, right? They're all sort of like placed behind each other, and unless you've got the time to go through them all individually, you can easily miss something. Right, okay, what's this? Oh, nice. So, I mean, for me, the GOAT, right? Nas. Illmatic, absolute classic. So his debut album. But this is a version I've never had. I've never owned this version. I don't know if... Let me see what it is. So I think it's basically just like a re-release, but with a second disc. So it contains like demos, remixes, and live radio. So it's the same sort of songs again, but in a different format, I think. So yeah, really nice. Really happy with this. Thank you very much, my friend. This is, I'd say, a nice cardboard sleeve. It's a really nice condition as well, actually. Nice imagery throughout. Like I say, for me, Nas is the GOAT. Illmatic's one of the greatest albums of all time. And something else in here as well. Hang on. Oh, like a booklet. So yeah, there's a lot going on with this. That is awesome. Love that. Well, you weren't wrong. You were not wrong, my friend. That is a classic. Very happy with that. Thank you very much, my friend. Okay, next one. There's a lot to live up to now. Oh, okay. It is another classic. Ice Cube, Death Certificate. I'll be honest, a little bit sort of before my time. I think I've got this on cassette. No, I've got the Predator. I've got the Predator on cassette. And I've got Death Certificate now on CD. Now, I know these are classic albums. I'm not the biggest Ice Cube fan. Obviously, I respect the West Coast origins. I respect sort of like NWA, and then obviously Cube leaving and doing his own solo thing. But yeah, I'm going to listen to this and see if I can catch the vibe, right? See what the hype's about. So much appreciated. Thank you very much. I love getting hip-hop for the collection. And these must be the steelbooks, right? What did I say? 2 steelbooks, yeah. Whilst I'm doing this, as appreciative as I am, part of me is just thinking, what am I going to do with these Xbox One games? Because I'm swimming in them, they're literally by my feet. And I do not know where they're going. Anyway, let me enjoy the moment. So, yeah, 2 steelbooks, thank you very much. So the first one is 13. So what's this for? PS4? Yeah, PS4. Oh, the artwork in it is really nice. And it comes with like these art cards as well. Now, I think I've got 13 on the GameCube, but I understand that the remaster didn't go down very well, wasn't very well received for whatever reason. You'd think that sort of cel-shaded graphical style would have translated well, but I'll be able to find out for myself now. So yeah, happy with that. And Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. Another nice steelbook. And for me, if you're not going to have a slipcover on a steelbook, make sure it says the game on the side, and these both do. Yeah, and that's pretty much what my PS4 collection is, right? It's either big box things or steelbooks. So these will go nicely in with that collection. I don't own any of these things. Sam, you know me well, my friend. It's much appreciated. I'm probably going to throw on one of those CDs now and stare at the walls for a bit while I try and think where this Xbox One collections are going to go. Okay, so trialing a couple of Xbox One ideas. Put them out here with the speakers. Which doesn't look too bad, but
it just wouldn't house enough before the sofa sort of encroaches on it, and there's still all the big box things there, so it's not really going to work. I think the only way I can really incorporate them is to, sadly, stop Rugrats and Hey Arnold being forward facing. I love having this like colourful artwork on display, but it was never going to last forever, right? It takes up so much space. So I think we're going to have to move these DVD sets, get Xbox One in here, and then we're not far off done. Once again, everything's worked out perfectly. So Rugrats and Hey Arnold have just gone side facing. The Xbox One games are fit exactly on that shelf, and then the larger items, which wouldn't fit on this shelf, conveniently gone onto the next shelf along, which is larger itself. A little bit of reshuffling down here. I think having the mask, the Hellgast helmet, sandwiched between two games just makes that look like it belongs as well, rather than just having it on the end. It looked a bit awkward. But putting Call of Duty in there, I just think it sort of framed it really well. And that's pretty much it now. What I need to do now is go around, neaten everything up, do a big tidy up, big clean up, and then we'll do a mini tour, right? A bit of a shelf tour. Okay, so approximately 7 hours or so after we started today on this room, we are done. And you know what? It's been sort of indicative of the week. Everything's just gone perfectly. I had a great night with Steph. The game hunt was perfect. Even today, whilst very time consuming, everything I've implemented has just worked. I'm delighted with everything. It's just been one of them like smooth, easygoing weeks, right? Where everything's gone as well as can be accepted. So yeah, absolutely delighted. Let me just do a quick tour and show you guys what we've done. Where should we start, Chief? This way? Yes, okay, so the only bit that's needs sorting out is this chair. This chair is very much the purgatory. We will get to this Nintendo cardboard hopefully next week. Make sure you enter the PS3 Essentials giveaway. Just simply click on my previous video. I'll try and remember to post a link in the description if I can. And yeah, get yourself entered. I'll announce the winner on next week's vlog. Speaking of next week's vlog, I did say I'd be discussing the Neo Geo Pocket, but I don't want to just fit it in at the end of this video. I've got quite a lot to say about it. It's very much a good news story, so we'll get to that early on next week's vlog as well. This part of the room hasn't really changed much. This was all sort of fine anyway. It's just sort of all the reworkings here. Now, you've seen most of it individually, but it's just about how good it all looks as a collective. Just delighted with it. This wall is very much the game wall now, right? It's very much the money shot, and if I take you guys down here, yeah, I think you can see how cool it's all looking. Hopefully next week we'll have the PS2 TV on its sliders so that can be brought out. But yeah, I just wanted every gap filled, everything in situ, everything perfect, and I think I've managed to achieve that. And again, it's having that full look without the room being full. That's why I wanted shelves, right? So I've still got a nice clear room, nice clear walkway, but everything's in a designated spot. Same with the Xbox area. Yeah, man. Let me know in the comments what you think. And can we officially say the game room is looking better than ever? And I think for the third time on this vlog, I'm going to quote what I said at the start, right? About a games room being a sanctuary, it being a happy place, a place, you know, if you put a lot of time and dedication and love into something, you know, you should have that feel-good factor about it. And for me, when I walk in and it's a mess, I don't have that feeling. I kind of have the, I need to do some work feeling, or I find it hard to be creative. I find it hard to give content creation my all, or whether it's playing a video game, whatever it may be. I've always been like that as a child. If I had a brand new video game or a new toy, I wanted to clean my bedroom first.
and then go and play with it. I don't know why. It's not something I've ever delved into, but it's very much carried with me throughout adult life. And now when I open this door and I come in and everything's perfect, nothing's in the way, the room's clean, it's fresh, now I get that feel-good vibe, and that's where all the hard work pays off. Whilst I love game hunting, I love finding stuff, I love creating videos, I love the response that the videos get from you guys, but I think, like, for me, probably the biggest thing is this room, right? This is like the real cherry on the top for me, when it's almost like the coming together of all those things into this one physical manifestation, which we've dubbed the 3.0. And yeah, when it's like this, it just makes me happier. So I'm delighted that we can be ending the vlog this week with a nice, clean, tidy room. And yeah, next week's vlog is going to be a stacked one yet again. I'm hoping to be at a video game convention next week. So we'll have all that to look forward to, as well as all the other usual game hunting, room changing, because there's a lot of work to be getting on with. And yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you, as always, for everybody that's taken the time to watch the vlog thus far. And yeah, man, what's left to say, really, other than play your games, keep it retro. If you're not already subscribed, I'd appreciate it. That's it. In a bit.
Welcome to the Retro Ghetto.
Ghetto.
Lock into the retro ghetto.